What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Back at it again with another video. My name is Aryan, and if you're like me, you want to plan out your days and you want to have structure to your days because it's important to get your work done, get it done efficiently, and maximize your time because we only have 24 hours in the day, and to do great things, we got to plan as well. So in this video, we're going to be going over how to make the perfect daily schedule. Now, in fact, it is a little bit of an art making a schedule. Sometimes you might be in a situation where you've made a schedule before and you don't stick to it, or you just don't know where to get started, and sometimes it's a little bit daunting. So in this video, we're going to simplify that process to make it as simple and as efficient as possible. Now, me personally, I love planning things out. That's the kind of person I am. It's important because it keeps you on time, it keeps you on schedule, and having an actual list of things that you have to get done in the day keeps you accountable as well, because when you don't get that stuff done, it's a shit feeling and you kind of feel like you let yourself down. Also, if you're not already, consider subscribing, do me a solid. Know your habits and build your habits. Now, when you're creating a schedule, it's not really realistic to make the perfect day right at the start. You might have a lot of habits and a lot of goals in your mind that you want to implement, but trying to do all of those in one day, especially if you're just, let's say, making a schedule now for the next day and you haven't really gotten to the swing of things, is not really realistic, and it's pretty much a recipe for disaster. Over planning tends to lead to failure because when you are trying to do too many things in too short amount of time, you kind of get overwhelmed and it puts you off more than it actually helps you out. So the daily schedule that we're going to make is going to keep that in mind, so you're not getting overwhelmed, but you're also getting the important things done. So diving right in, I would suggest to pick 3 things in the day that are your most important things and schedule your day around those things. We're going to touch on this a little bit later, but for now, the main message is the 3 most important things are the ones that your day is going to base around. And the second thing that you want to do prior to start scheduling your day is that you want to make a list of habits you want to develop. Now, these habits can be goals you want to work to or things that you want to break, but the point of it is that you want to have a list of things that you're actively working on bettering yourself, and that will be implemented in these days. But like I said, you don't want to implement all the habits in one day because that just leads to failure. It's going to be a work in progress and you're going to work to it over time. Break your day into blocks. Like I said, with the 3 important things, this is how I structure my day, and it's been working for me, so I thought I'd share it with you, is that I structure my day into 3 main blocks or periods, if you will. Now, these blocks are structured around like meal times, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Even if you're not eating in these times, it's really helpful to just structure your day around this because it provides you with a little bit more of a concrete plan of your day, and then you have distinct periods of your day that you actually have to follow. The first period is going to be the breakfast period. That's typically your morning routine and getting ready, starting your day off right. The lunch period is going to be the bulk of your day. That's when you want to get a lot of your work done, and that's when you also want to be the most productive, and you kind of want to ease into that through the breakfast period. And then the last period is obviously dinner, where you're starting to wind down, you get all your work done, and this is the time where you want to prep for the next day, and you want to make sure that the goals that you set for the day are achieved by the time you go to sleep. Now, when you're setting up the day, have those 3 tasks that we talked about earlier, the 3 most important things you want to do, have them 1 per period. And these are what I call non-negotiables, where you have to get that done in that specific time period. Since these are your most important 3 tasks and they're scheduled 1 in each of the blocks that we talked about, it's realistic to get it done because now you have a set schedule and you have a set time where you need to accomplish these goals. And then now that we have these 3 things set up in those 3 blocks, we can structure the rest of our day around these 3 most important tasks. And by the way, these tasks can really be anything. It depends on your priorities and your goals. So for example, one of the tasks could be to work out, to study for exams, and to eat a solid dinner. Like, it doesn't really matter about the tasks. Whatever your 3 most important things are of the day, just choose those. Now we're gonna actually start the plan. What I like to do is I like to schedule the day in checklist form. This way I have everything written down that I need to complete in all these different time periods. And when I look back at it, I like to actually physically write it down in a notebook. That way, when I'm actually checking it off as the day ends or as the day progresses, I actually have a physical level of accountability. So if I don't do those things and I've written it down, it signals to myself either I need to plan my day better or I need to stay a little bit more disciplined because I haven't got what I've written down done. Now, when you're scheduling your day, I recommend scheduling it in 15-minute increments. So that way you have a little bit of time and a little bit of buffer period so that you're not over scheduling and over cramming your day. 15 minutes is just an arbitrary number. I think that it just works well because you can do like hourlies and half hours and 45 minutes and so forth. So I just like scheduling it in 15-minute increments. Like, I'm not saying like every 15 minutes has to be done, but like, let's say for a block of like an hour and a half, that's when you can schedule something. And like I said, you don't want to be trying to do too much right away. So that's why you want to build in these buffer periods. So for example, after the gym, maybe you want to shower, and then you give yourself a 15 to 30 minute buffer period before you start doing work. That way you're not just so rigid in your schedule, and if you go off track a little bit, you've already built those mechanisms into your schedule that allows you to keep track even if you're not perfectly on time. Now obviously do your best to stay on time, but these buffer periods will allow you to psychologically think that you have a little bit more leeway with your time, and if you do go over or if you do go under, it's not the end of the world and you haven't completely failed because you've built these buffer periods in. And like I said before, throughout the day as you get work done, I'd go back to where you've written it down. I personally recommend to do it in a notebook. That way it is the most physical and I feel the truest form of scheduling. For some reason I just really like writing things down, but you can also use an app. I prefer a checklist type of app. This way you can actually check off things from the list and it helps you build that level of accountability, which I really recommend doing. So the last thing I think is one of the most important things in scheduling your day, and it might sound a little bit childish, is to set up a wake up time and more importantly, set up a bedtime. And these things are also what I call non-negotiable. So when I schedule my wake up, what's more important, I want to get a 9 hours of sleep. So I actually have a bedtime. And you might be thinking to yourself, come on man, like we're grown, but a bedtime is actually important because it lets you get the amount of sleep that you need to actually tackle your day the next day. And once you get into a rhythm, your sleep schedule starts adapting to your plan. It actually really helps you have energy and have the mind awareness that you need for the next day. So yeah, basically that's all you need to make the perfect daily schedule. And at the end of the day, it just comes down to your willpower and actually following it. You want to build discipline and you want to build a little bit of a rhythm, and we want to be in a state of flow, I guess. To me, when you accomplish your daily routine that you've set out, it's honestly a great feeling and you just feel like you want to do it. So you kind of start building momentum. So I wish you all the best in scheduling your daily routine, and drop in the comments some of the stuff that you guys want to accomplish in your day. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Aryan. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.